Ik dream om belten. Ik dream om duiven.
Some Viking Ventures. I'm going to start a new series, and the series is going to be on the Ducati S4. It needs a bit of love. Going to take the engine out eventually, get that resprayed, but I've noticed some shiny new parts. So what I'm going to do, one of the things that annoyed me the most about this bike was the clutch master cylinder. Didn't seem to really be up to the job, so I invested in some nice new shiny master cylinders, matching levers. I don't want to change too much on the bike, but I just feel as if it deserves something like this. So an RCS 16 for the clutch, and an RCS 19 for the front brake. And that's the RCS 19. Beautiful bits of kit, beautiful. But yeah, I thought I'd do like a little mini series on upgrading the bike, and I've got a few other parts and stuff that need to go on, but yeah, there's the bits that I've done so far is I've fitted these Samco hoses. It's incredibly damp in the garage today. Umberger carbon fibre water pump cover, the Oberon slave cylinder, which is not too bad. The bike is absolutely atrocious at getting into neutral, but I'm not sure if that had something to do with this or something else. So I've got new braided carbon fibre lines for the brakes and for the clutch. Excuse me. Other things I've done, obviously the MIV silencers, which don't silence anything. The bike's quite loud. Other things, little bits that I've done, I've fitted these LED indicators, far better than the originals. The bike needs a bit of a clean, like, but yeah, everything's a bit damp and shitty this morning. But next thing I've done, replaced all of the engine bolts with nice polished stainless ones. I hope I can keep them all nice and clean and shiny. And I've got another Ilmberger carbon fibre clutch case. Clutch is still quite noisy. It's something that I'm not really particularly fond of on Ducatis, is the rattly clutch. It does make it sound broken. I know they're supposed to sound like that, but I will be looking into probably a wet clutch conversion for this in the future, just to try and quieten it down a little bit, because it is quite noisy. Some other people might like it, I particularly don't. So, well, nothing particularly wrong with the outlines. It was just, yeah, just wanted some new ones. Get it nice, new and clean and shiny. But yeah, we shouldn't really have any problems fitting these today, so this first episode will probably just be on replacing the clutch side. Next episode will probably be on the front brake, and then there's a special relay that I have to fit for the indicators because they're LEDs. It doesn't pick up on dash whether or not you're using your indicators or not. So I'll just get my tools out and get it set up, and then I'll catch you back up. Step one, I'm going to take this off, and then we're going to empty the clutch fluid reservoir of all the old nasty fluid. It should actually be not in too bad nick, to be fair. Wind these mirrors out. Get that off. Connect. Now, if you don't have any bleeding kits, I'd highly recommend these. And this is I think it's from Silverline, but it's a brake runs off of a compressor. It's just the tidiest and neatest way of getting stuff out of your bike without, you know, the risk of spilling fluids on it and all that sort of stuff. So I always use this. It's a good bit of kit. Very careful when you're dealing with this sort of stuff, because brake fluid is nasty. Nasty stuff. So all I'm doing now is I've took the cap off, and there's like a plastic diaphragm thing inside. Take all that off. Excuse the noise. Now, next bit is down here where the slave cylinder is, sorry. I'll just get a better angle for you. Right in here. You need to disconnect this and then drain the excess fluid into this shitty old bucket that I've got. And then we'll pull the rest of this line out, but you just want to make sure that we get most of the fluid out. Just getting the appropriate size spanner. Is it a 12mm? It's quite big. Go down one. So I'm going to use a 12mm. Carefully take this out. Some fluid trying to escape. Disconnect that. Just going to take these old washers off so I can pull this free completely. Hang down there. We'll basically just let gravity drain the rest of the fluid out of there. Once that's done, I'll bring you back. Right, so next we're going to pull this line off and get this line out of the way, so then we can focus on stripping the actual clutch. Just push any extra fluid out of there. A bit overkill sticking master cylinders on like these, but I love the bike. I've got no intention of selling it, and I think it deserves it, so we'll have a see what the crack is here. Now bear in mind you might get a bit of fluid coming out of this top master cylinder here. Just bring yours in a bit closer so you can see. Now the bolt that I'm undoing is right in here. You want to undo it and just be careful of spillages and stuff, so I'll quickly just grab a rag. And I'll just undo this. So to collect the banjo and the washers. There we go. And that's basically what a banjo bolt is. It just allows fluid to pass through. That's it. Now this will be easier said than done. go. Right, now that's the old line out. There she is. In all of her glory. So we'll just we'll put that to one side. Let the compressor sort itself out for 2 minutes. Pain in the ass. So in the meantime, I'm just going to clean up around the old port, originally very fluid, that got out. Next, if you can hear me, I'm going to take off the brake fluid reservoir, and then we can strip off the rest of this. Now, one thing to always check before you fit aftermarket braided lines is obviously the length difference between your new and your old lines. Secondly is this, like the pre-bends on the on your lines, they've got to match or closely match up to what it was, which was once there originally. So looking at this, it should be relatively straightforward to work out. This is the old one that come off. It's got a bit more of a severe bend on the end of it compared to this one. A gradual rise at that end would probably lead me to believe that that was actually supposed to be fitted the other way around. But that doesn't look like a very good fitment on the top, so I will dry fit it and see what it looks like. Right, well, I've got the line roughly in place where I want it to be. I mean, the original path that it took, it came up here, came through and then connected onto that end there. But what I might have to do is push it behind and bring it through the other way, just to give it more clearance, because that should go onto there like that. But we'll test it and see what happens. But first I'll connect it down at the actual slave cylinder side first. So I'll just pop yours back down there. Can be a bit of a pain in the ass, like routing these, but at least you can get them exactly the way that you want. That comes down here. I'm not sure if I like that there. Take the line a little bit, and then that one sits in there. Now it has given me new fixtures and fittings, but I've got a titanium bleed nipple there, so I will be reusing that. Just need to get some washers for it. I mean, I had to put titanium on because the first one that I actually took off had welded itself to the slave cylinder. So in the end I ended up just chopping it off, which is a bit of a pain in the ass, but you got to do what you got to do. So you've got a crush washer on either side. So if I just remove that a little bit, you basically, that's your banjo, and then you've got your copper washer that goes through, and then you've got another copper washer that goes on underneath, and that screws into here. Not going to nip it up too tight because we've got fluid to pull back through here after. for now. So the line's in, and then we've got like this rubber elasticated strap that straps all of these wires and this to the frame. This is quite wet because it's very damp today. And then that holds everything up to where it should be. Now, next stage will be to remove the reservoir and the master cylinder itself. Right, for this next bit, you'll need a 5mm Allen key and release these pinch bolts. Just so you know which ones I'm doing, it's these ones here. I'm going to undo this, and then the whole master cylinder should come off. So just place you back down there. Floor's not quite flat, but it is what it is. And there we go, that's the old one. Bit of fluid leaking out of it. Right, so now we can look at fitting the new one to the bike and then tucking it from there. See what it's going to look like with this bad boy on. Just undo these pinch bolts. Get on there, you bastard. Right. There we go. That's a bit bloody better. Just going to loosely fit a couple of these bolts first so I can shift everything around and get it into the position that I want it in. Trying to find parts for this bike is, especially in the UK, is pretty damn hard. Let's just slide them out of the way a little bit. Yeah, that's looking semi-decent. Well, it's on the bike. Not sure how good it's going to look compared to the old ones, but it should give me what I need. A bit more responsive clutch feel in comparison to the old one, and I like the fact that these levers are huge as well. I don't like short, stubby levers. Could just make the bike look a bit tacky sometimes. So I'm just going to give this area a bit of a clean off. Get some of these old wear marks and stuff where the old one used to be, and then go ahead and fit the reservoir. But what I'll do is I'll get this positioned up where I want it, and then I'll bring these back and fit in the reservoir. Welcome back. Basically I found my first problem, and that is going to be, just going to make sure that you can see that when the lever is pushed down, it's going to be hitting the fast idle and the wiring harness coming into the switch gear, so I can't get it down to where it wants to be. It needs to be, this lever needs to probably be about there. So I'm going to have a fiddle around with this and see if I can get it I might have to actually spin it right the way around and then push the banjo through when it's actually on this side to give me a bit more clearance, but this banjo bolt here is just getting in the way of these. So what I'll do is I'll have a little fat about and see if I can sort that out. Right, okay, I've managed it sort of. Basically, what I've had to do is push the banjo between the two bolts underneath here. I'll just turn the camera and see if I can get you to see it. It's had to go between the fast idle and the wiring harness. I'm not sure how clearly you can see that, but that's what I've had to do. So what we'll do now is we'll try and attach the brake fluid reservoir and see. Just tidy these up a little bit here. Need to get one of the little plastic straps on there. But yeah, I'm going to try and see if I can get the reservoir mounted, and then we should be able to get this bled up. We should be good. But yeah, I'll catch up back with you once I've figured out how to fit the reservoir mount. Reservoir on, absolute faff. Not in the most ideal of places, but for what it's worth, it's not too bad. Not too bad. Got a slight lean on it, just pull it this way. Luckily enough, these you can actually bend and twist into whatever kind of position you want, really. Just going to chuck some fluid in. And then what we'll do is we'll let this gravity feed its way all the way down to here. So we'll open this bleed nipple, and then I will attach a breather line. This is going to go to the compressor. That is eventually going to draw the fluid through, but for now we need to just get some fluid into the system. First, we can actually see the fluid coming out. It might be. It's going to want us to bleed the master cylinder first. So what I'll do is I will get this bleed nipple off, and then I'll bleed the master cylinder, and then we'll bleed it through down into this lower section here. So let's have a look. That's too small. That's a bit better. So pull this plastic cap off. Come on, you bastard. Ugh, bloody hell, it won't come off. Up a little bit, we should have fluid down at the bottom here soon. Well, she's pulling it very slowly. Right, bollocks to it. I'll stick it on the vacuum. Right, this may get a little bit noisy and I apologise, but what I'm going to try and do is get down to this bit here. Not sure if you guys can see that. Bring it down. And we're here. So I'm going to connect this to the compressor. Right, okay, so now we've got fluid in the line. We just need to make sure that that doesn't run dry. So I'll leave you there, and you can see it for yourself. I'll just get a bit more fluid in there. Oh, not too much. There we go. Right, well, we've got fluid down at the bottom, so now I'm just going to quickly bleed off the master cylinder. It's 11 mils and a weird sizes, 11 mil. There we go. We've got really good pressure there now. We'll just give it a couple more. If you can hear me, is I'll get this finished off and then we'll move on to the next area. I'm just going to tidy up around here, top it off with fluid, chuck it down at the bottom, and then we'll test to make sure everything's alright. Right, I think I've got it. Fluids are done, nice and clear. The only problem is the strap that Brembo give us to fit over this does not fit whatsoever. It's far too small, far too tight. The same with the bottom one as well. You can't literally just not get it enough to push it over where the plastic, you know, like the mushroom section of it goes into the pipe. But other than that, got a good clutch feel. There's no leaks, no drips. All is looking well. All is looking very well. So that is yeah, not exactly a how-to, but that's my RC16 Brembo quarter courser clutch master cylinder replacement with new line. Next episode we'll probably focus on doing the other side. We'll get the front brake done, replace the lines on that as well, and then I've got a new LED tail light to go on to match the indicators. I'm just trying to modernise the bike up a little bit, but without going too extreme, because obviously I love the bike the way it is. Yeah, it's just needed a little bit of updating, just to bring it into the 21st century a little bit further. But other than that, no, she's a good bike. Absolutely love this thing. Absolute pain in the arse, don't get me wrong, but that's why we buy them and love them. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this first episode. As I said, next episode will be the brake, the front brake and master cylinder, which will probably be next week now, because I'm obviously really busy. I have my own valeting and detailing company, so that's what I do 9 times out of 10 when I'm not doing other people's bikes like that one. It's just nice to have a little bit of time to do things on my own bikes for a change. But yeah, well, ride safe, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care.